The wicked nanny took the siblings to the riverside, then pushed them in without hesitation. Watching them sink to the bottom, she burst into crazed laughter, because behind her madness was a carefully planned scheme, but she never expected the siblings would survive and be rescued and adopted by a kind old lady. As the years passed, the siblings grew up, but the old lady's health declined rapidly. On her deathbed, she called them over, revealed the truth about how she found them, and handed them a jade pendant, telling them to find their real parents. Shortly after, the old lady passed away. Meanwhile, the wife of the richest man was filled with grief, blaming herself for not protecting her children years ago. Her husband tried to comfort her, saying they still had an adopted daughter and needed to stay strong for her. Just then the nanny walked in with the girl. The girl ran straight into the wife's arms. As the family shared a warm moment, no one noticed the nanny's sinister gaze. 5 years ago that very night, the nanny took advantage of their absence and threw the real children into the river, so they would have no choice but to adopt again, and she could ensure her own daughter would be chosen, eventually becoming the family's sole heir. Now the siblings were determined to fulfill the old lady's final wish, and began their search for their parents. Having no money, they could only sing and beg in the park. Coincidentally, the rich man's adopted daughter came to the same park to play. Seeing the little brother playing a harmonica, she pouted and asked the rich man to buy her one too. Unaware, he and his wife had already prepared a mountain of gifts, and were planning a grand birthday party for her, not knowing their real children were at that very moment begging for food nearby. Because of their ragged clothes, they were mistaken for scammers, and were cursed at and chased away. They hadn't eaten for 3 whole days. Desperate, they began searching through trash cans, but the shop owner chased them off for fear of affecting business. Trying to ask for help, the girl showed the jade pendant to the owner, but he became greedy upon seeing its fine craftsmanship. The siblings quickly grabbed it back from him. Seeing how desperately they protected the pendant, the owner had an idea. He offered them a deal: sneak into the birthday party at the richest man's house, steal something valuable, and he'd return the jade pendant. The siblings refused immediately, but the man turned violent. To protect her little brother, the girl reluctantly agreed. The next day, he brought them to the mansion. They hesitated at the gate. He threatened the girl: if she didn't go in, he'd sell her brother. She had no choice but to nod. Inside the mansion, the rich couple were celebrating their adopted daughter's birthday. Watching the girl, they couldn't help but think of their missing children, because today was also their real daughter's birthday. Meanwhile, the siblings quietly sneaked into one of the bedrooms. The little brother doubted the man would keep his word, but the girl insisted. Adults wouldn't lie about something so serious. They began searching for valuables, but when they saw a happy family portrait, their eyes were full of envy. Just then, the rich man's wife noticed her jade pendant was missing during the party. She went upstairs to look for it. Just as she was about to open a door, the nanny appeared, saying the adopted daughter was looking for her, and offered to help search for the pendant. Inside the room, the siblings were still searching, but time passed, and the rich wife still hadn't seen the nanny return with the pendant. She began to feel something was wrong. Just as she was about to go looking, the nanny suddenly returned, but this time, she brought 2 children with her.